Welcome back. Today I'm not in New Jersey. Today I'm headed to the gorge. After a rough night's sleep in my rental car, it was great to see the river with some bumps right off the side of the road. It's my first time here, so I threw up the drone to get my bearings, and wow, the views are spectacular. I figured out where the hatch was and headed over to check it out. There was only one car in the parking lot, and it was the Florida boys, Eric and Rossi. And for us East Coasters, the bumps looked fun. They were super amped, so I shuttled them up to Tunnel 4 for a quick run. We are ocean boys, so carving down the river is a trip. This is Eric's redemption trip. Last year, he was just starting to learn the sup when he was in Hood. So this trip, after a year of sup downwind runs at home, he was ready to rip. Eric is a pro surfer from New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Smyrna is home to the most consistent waves in Florida, but they are still pretty small and gutless most of the time. So when he discovered the foil, he really got consumed by it. It's amazing how I can ride a small foil in these tiny bumps. He uses these rail-to-rail turns to build the speed that he needs. He keeps the foil moving and flowing the whole time. Right at the tip of the hatch, the current is really rushing and creates some wild rapids, which will take you down if you're not careful. This is Rossi. Him and Eric are super foil frothers like myself. They send runs daily back in New Smyrna Beach, the shark bite capital of the United States. It's got to be cool for them riding in the freshwater river without the fear of the man in the gray suit. Rossi does a great job working back to find more energy. He is a fellow Unifoil ambassador, and he's riding the Unifoil Evolution 155. This is a wind sport town, so it seems like everyone arrives in the late morning. But when you're on a trip and you're only there a couple days, you gotta just send it, even if it's tiny. We got a report that the wind was good in Rufus, so we loaded up and headed east. When we arrived at the Rufus boat ramp, we were straight into a shuttle back up to the silo for our first run. Over half the crew was parrowing in on small boards, and it looked fun. And we're off. The paddle up wasn't bad, and I was straight into some fun bumps. As I approached the bridge, there was definitely some reverberation, and the current was really pushing through, so it was a bit tricky to navigate. Of course, after navigating the hard part, I fell on a simple turn. The water was warm, well into the 70s, and the air over here was hot and dry. There is Mary Hill State Park, which looked like a killer place to camp. I got a new board. It's the Unifoil Nimitz 7.7, 113 liters. It's super light for a production board. I just weighed it with a soaking wet traction pad, and it was 12 pounds. It feels really good under my feet. These bumps were so organized and perfectly stacked running down the river. Conditions were so fun, we banged out 3 runs. Each one was over 30 minutes of foiling. These bumps had such long lines, you could ride as far as you want to the right, and then turn around and head all the way back to the left. Looking back up the river and seeing Mount Hood was so cool. Jack was flowing on that little board. Rossi switched boards from the morning session to the Dragonfly Surf. He was looking good on it. Eric was also on the Dragonfly Surf, and he was slicing it up. Ben from Big Winds joined us for the day, and he was shredding the Paraway. This was our second run, and the bumps were perfect. So I used the Unifoil Progression 140. This foil is such a nice roll, so it was a pleasure to carve around. I rode the Evolution 155 on the first and third runs, and the extra glide was pretty fun too. Logistically, this was the best downwind run I've ever done. Boat ramp with the parking lot at the finish, straight line highway that you drove 70 miles an hour up to the next exit, and plenty of parking at the start. Along the wall, there were some bombs. After this rail dig, I got locked in and exploded on this one. My speed splits were between 315 and 330, which is pretty slow, but with the current pushing against me, it felt way faster. What a killer first day. There were so many stoked foilers at the boat ramp parking lot, ready to shuttle up for another run. Thanks to Ben, Ryan, Roy, Jason, and Eros for the shuttles.
It's insane! Get him, son!
The bumps rolled all the way to the finish. The first run, I had no idea where to end up, and I couldn't really see the boat ramp from far away. But right when I got in front of the jetty, it was very visible. After my last run, I sent the drone up, and it was still pumping. Plenty of guys were still out there having a blast. Wow, what a place. Thanks for watching.